Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Bad Times at the El Royale. And this movie is directed by Drew Goddard, the same director as The Cabin in the Woods, a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I thought this movie was great. And what this movie is, it's a thriller with multiple storylines going on, and one of those types of movies. And the film did remind me a little bit of The Hateful Eight in ways. And what makes this movie stand out is that it's cutting back and forth between different characters, and you see everyone's perspective. And that's really what the story is, and just cutting back and forth. And the story is kind of simple in ways, but they tell it in a way where it's like things are slowly being revealed as to who certain characters are, or everyone really. And that's what makes it interesting, for me at least. I do think the movie is very well shot. It's really nice to look at, and I like the location. It's very well established, and you can always tell what room you are in. And sometimes when you're in just a hotel room, you can see the entirety of the room and how much space is in there. And that's something I really liked and appreciated, which not too many movies do. And the opening scene is pretty much what the movie is all about, and why everything is happening the way that it is, for the most part. And that's another thing that makes it interesting. And there was also some really great reincorporation in the film that I thought was well handled, and the performances are great. Chris Hemsworth, I liked that he wasn't like typecast, and he can play a role other than Thor. Like, I've seen other movies with him, like Extraction 1 and 2, and those movies I don't think are very good, but in this movie, he really, like, disappears into the character, and he did a really good job. And Dakota Johnson was pretty good in it, too. And Jeff Bridges, I liked a lot, and everyone does a good job, and those are just the main ones that I'm familiar with. John Hamm is in it, too. Overall, a really great cast and really interesting characters. They're all very distinct and memorable. And you can clearly see what is driving each of these characters to this one location and what they're kind of after. And there are parts of the story that I found to be unpredictable, and I had no idea where it was going, especially in the first half of the movie. The second half, not so much. You kind of know what's going on, and that's kind of where my criticisms do start. But before I get into that, I just want to finish up my positives. The way the film is unpredictable, I don't mean that in a way that, oh, just random things are happening for no reason, and this is happening, just to keep you surprised as to, like, oh, that happened. I wasn't expecting that to come along, but rather it feels organic to the story, and it feeds into itself, and it just keeps going and building and building. And there's also flashback scenes in this movie, and this movie is told out of order and always from a perspective of a certain character, depending on which scene you're in. And you really do understand the motivations of these characters and understand where they're coming from. The movie does a great job at establishing that. And now to get into my criticisms, I do like the first half better than the second half because this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and I wasn't bored at any point in the movie. However, what I will say is this. The reason why I prefer the first half as opposed to the second half is because of how the film is paced out and structured. The first half has a lot to chew on, and it's still revealing things to you, and it's very fast-paced and kind of shows its hand early on as to, like, what things are eventually going to be played out. And that's what makes it interesting, and there's just so much in that first half that I love. And around when we get to the 90-minute mark, it feels like things are about to wrap up and there isn't too much else left to explore. And that's where the movie kind of slows down for me, and just has Chris Hemsworth show up. And when he showed up, that's when the movie kind of came to a halt, because the story is kind of done. Like, there isn't really many other places it can go without spoiling anything. I just wish that it was paced out a bit differently for me personally. And also, some of the effects didn't look too great. There was some blood that looked a bit too bright red in like almost pitch black locations. That was kind of distracting, and there was some CG fire that didn't look all too great. And at points, there were moments where there was fire, but there was no smoke at all. That was kind of weird. I'm not sure why that was the case. But that's about all of my issues with the movie. I thought it was a great experience, and I like the soundtrack choices as well. I felt as though most of them fit the movie. I do like some better than others, but that's just my own personal taste. The movie looks great. It has a great story, great cast, and what else do you need? Check it out. It's a little long, but it's not boring. I'll say that much. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Bad Times at the Royale an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Bad Times at the Royale, and my social media links. It will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Past Lives. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.